This week on Dance of Joy, we talk about clones, sleeping in a prom dress, and Mr. Gorpley on an island. All that and more as we watch Season 6, Episode 9 of our favorite 80s hit sitcom, Perfect Strangers. Hello and welcome to Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast. My name is Sophia. I'm one of your hosts. And joining me, as every other week, is my brother and your co-host. What's up, Imran?
Hi, sister. What's up, cousin listener? How's it hanging?
Hello, hello.
Glad to be here. You know, sister, last week we mentioned you were binging Lost.
Can I tell you
How's that
that
going?
I am so sleepy and tired right now? In fact, you were shocked because I asked you for coffee when I got here, and I
Yeah,
don't
you drink
caffeine anymore. I get it, but today I was like so dragging,
Why?
and you know why? Because I'm up half the night watching Lost, a show from 20 years ago.
Lost.
I'm in season 5 of 6. Everything is very complicated and confusing, and I just have to find out these answers. So I have to just finish it now.
It's been fun, like, hearing you talk about it after I watched it when it was on live. I've not rewatched it, and to see you, like, have you explain what happens?
Yeah.
It sounds utterly ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, but people have proclaimed this show like the best television ever written, blah, blah. But I have something for both of us. I can't believe we talked about Lost all last week and neglected to mention
This is a big omission on our
the
parts.
big tie-in to our favorite show, Perfect Strangers.
Who's on Lost?
Sam Anderson. Gorpley,
Yes, of
Mr.
course.
Gorpley is on Lost.
Out of the city.
Of course, how could we forget to
He
mention
plays
Gorpley?
Bernard,
He's
who was
great on
in the
Lost.
tail
Yeah,
section,
yeah.
but his wife was in the front section, so they were split for the whole first couple
there
seasons.
was that revelation about the spoilers, the tail section people. Michelle
The
Rodriguez
tailies,
was one of them. Yeah, the tailies. That's right. Two factions. What a ridiculous show.
And theirs was like this lovely love story because they both believed the other one was still alive the whole first 50 days or something on the island, 30, 40 days.
Bernard, I remember
And then
Bernard.
they found each other.
Gorpley.
Bernard and Rose.
Good for you, Gorpley. You went on to do big things. Only in one of the biggest shows ever.
So that must be why I felt compelled to rewatch
it all
Lost,
ties together.
because of Bernard / Mr. Gorpley.
I'll tell you what is not happening is any kind of production in Hollywood, as I just have to mention,
right.
we are in a historic period currently, July of 2023, where the actors and writers are on strike for the first time since 1960 at the same time, and everything has shut down and expect delays, and it's wild that this is happening at this time of Hollywood when box offices are down.
As it should, though, because the whole point is all these CEOs are making $1 million, and the writers and creatives make $50,000 a year, if that.
As a creative, I'm obviously on the side of the talent. We need them. But if you notice headlines, labor strikes all across the world in all different industries right now.
People are fed up.
People have had it. They are fed up. It is a very interesting time in history.
Stop working for free.
In
Don't
labor
be
history,
exploited.
in entertainment history. So keep an eye on that. But what we do have is we'll always have Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, because even if they stop producing new content for a little while,
we might be the only new content coming out is us recapping every episode of Perfect Strangers. So
we pay ourselves enough.
We don't need to go on strike at the moment. We'll see.
Do we strike? I think we deserve more money, but
no, I feel like we're getting what we need from our shareholders, whatever. Anyways, that brings us to season 6, episode 9 of Perfect Strangers,
entitled The Ring.
This title, of course, based on the Japanese horror movie that was filmed 15 years later.
No, it's
it was very
not.
prescient. They
Ringu.
Somehow they knew, they saw the future.
No, it's not. It's not based on anything.
Yeah,
it's simply
literal.
the subject of the story, which is about a ring. And if you wanted to know more, you would have gone to the TV guide to read the following description. Larry is in a gem of a predicament.
Oh, I get it.
When he unwittingly buys a fake diamond engagement ring for Jennifer.
Of course he does.
Kind of half-wittingly, we'll find out. It's not
unwittingly,
100% unwittingly.
What's down?
He had a little bit of wit.
Featuring just the 4 star players typecasts. Bronson Pinchot as Balky, Marklin Baker as Larry, Melanie Wilson as Jennifer, and Rebecca Arthur as Marianne.
And if you remember, one of our listeners had pointed out in the past that when it's the core cast, the smaller cast tend to be the ones we like more. So we'll find out if that.
Well, he also
true.
meant specifically when it's just Bronson. and Mark Lindbergh. However, this might be an outlier.
This might be up there. We'll see.
We'll see.
This episode aired on November 23rd, 1990.
And of course, all episodes are streaming for free on Amazon Freebie. It's free. All 8 seasons.
It's free TV.
Freebie,
the best kind of TV.
Freebie landing an Emmy nomination for Jury Duty.
Oh,
isn't that crazy? Good for Freebie.
Oh, of course it was going to.
It is a great show.
Jury Duty was
best comedy series Emmy. It should get it. Yeah.
So interesting.
See, Freebie should be a sponsor of this podcast because we're always.
Did the guy get any nominations?
No, I think just the show.
That would have been wild.
But he's not an actor. You can't nominate him. He's not SAG. Come
that would have been wild.
Randall can keep working if he wants to. Maybe he's SAG now. Maybe he's SAG.
But who is the actor who was on there?
James Mars.
James Mars.
Definitely cannot promote the show right now because they're on strike. Anyway.
Right. Anyway, go watch Jury Duty. Okay, let's get into The Ring, not Ringu.
Ringu.
The Ring, Act 1. We are in Larry and Balky's living room, and we have a close-up shot of a velvet, your typical ring box, a velvet ring box, and inside is this huge diamond.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big.
It's big.
You can see it clearly.
Kind of gaudy big, actually. And we see that it's Larry and Balky sitting together very closely, as they do on sitcoms. You sit like basically on top of each other. It's a
two-shot. You got to get next to each other to get on screen.
And even though there's so much couch. And Larry is saying that Jennifer is going to love her engagement ring. Here's the premise. So as if listeners will remember, they're already engaged. She kind of blurted out an engagement at the restaurant while she was on a date.
Did not have a ring at the time.
Right. So this is just the story about getting the ring.
The ring.
And Larry is quite proud of himself because he says he was smart enough to buy it from a discount jeweler. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
He says, I got twice the ring at half the price. I love this. The credits are still rolling. And they have efficiently hit us with the premise of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right away.
And Larry's idiocy. There's so much in these two sentences. You're like, oh, this is going to go bad because it's a discount jeweler.
Discount jeweler. And Balky goes, well, cause Jennifer's going to need twice the finger to hold it up.
It's humongous.
Humongous, he says, commenting on the size, of course.
And he's like, I don't know what was wrong with like the littler one. And Larry's like, Balky.
We got a Balky.
Oh, we know we're about to get some Larry splaining. Yeah. And in fact, he says, in America.
Oh, boy. Famous statement. In America.
In America, the size of a man's love for his woman is determined by the size of the diamond he buys her.
Is that so, Larry?
Ugh, so 80s. And he says, big diamond, lots of love. Little diamond, here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Meaning the girl's going to split. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really guilting people into doing certain things.
In America, it's all about this. He really makes America look bad here, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, this was the common sentiment in the 90s, of course, for a long time. For a long time, ever since
women just want a big diamond.
Showing, and De Beers got the Hollywood to show it in movies.
Yeah.
This is why this happened. Anyways, apparently on Meepos, there's a similar tradition. Balky says, on Meepos, the size of a man's love is determined by the size of the goat he gives his beloved.
That's like much better,
Dowry.
actually. More useful.
Big goat, and he says, lots of love.
Yeah.
Little goat, that's all she wrote.
He makes his rhyme.
I love the rhyme.
Yeah. Big goat, lots of love.
Look, that's a dowry. A goat is food and milk. You can actually do stuff
value,
with
that. What are you going to do with it?
Where did this diamond come from?
And Larry just very condescendingly, snidely goes, fascinating culture. Oh my God, he's so rude even after all these years. He takes the ring, he snaps closed like the velvet box, and he puts it in like the cardboard box, whatever, which happens to be a box that says Tiffany on it.
Oh.
And Balky sees this and he gets excited. He said, you got a box from Tiffany and you didn't get me her autograph?
I get it.
Anybody who was around back then would get it. We'll explain in a minute because Larry says, Balky, this is not a box from Tiffany the singer. This is a box from Tiffany the jewelry store. let's pause there and
There's
remind people
Yes.
who Tiffany the singer was. She was a probably, I guess, like a actress and teen icon, teen star, but she was a pop singer and songwriter in the 80s. And in 1987, she had a big hit called "I Think We're Alone Now."
Yeah, I love that.
It was a cover, actually.
Yeah,
She didn't write it, but her version made it to the top of the Billboard charts, et cetera, et cetera.
Cover of a Shondell
and
song.
in fact,
Yeah,
I
know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this.
Side story.
Yeah.
I only know this song because
Yeah.
before I knew this song, I knew the Weird Al Yankovic version.
It's so good.
Because for my 9th birthday, the only present I remember, the best present I ever got was from, I won't say her name, but I'm still in touch with her. She knows who she is. We've talked about this all the time. The best birthday present on my 9th birthday was a cassette tape of Weird Al's album, Even
Was it
Worse.
Even worse, because it was a spoof of Bad.
Michael Jackson's Bad.
Straight spoof of Bad.
And I played this tape
Even worse. Yeah.
so much.
it's
I
such a
knew
great
the
album.
lyrics from the
Yeah.
liner notes inside and out. I played it, listened to it all the time.
What's the version
but
of
I
this
didn't
song?
know the original. To this day, many
Yeah.
of the original songs I'll
Yeah.
hear in the grocery store, and
Yeah.
I will start singing out loud the
Yeah.
Weird Al version because I don't know the lyrics to the original. So the original here is "I Think We're Alone Now." Weird Al's was, do you want to guess?
No, I know. I remember
I
this
think
song.
I'm a clone now.
I think we're a clone now.
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
There's always seems to be two of us around.
There's always two of us. I think I'm a clone now because every chromosome is a hand-me-down.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Born in a geneticist lab, born to be a carbon copy man. Born in a science lab, late one night without a mother or a father, just a test tube and a womb with a view. I think I'm a clone now.
It's so good.
There's always two of me just a hanging
I knew
around.
you were going to bring that up because, yes, that's where Tiffany took
And
me
I
to.
don't know the original lyrics, but
I think We're Alone Now is a great song, Shondell's. But then Tiffany, also a very famous jewelry store and lamps,
Yes.
right? Tiffany lamps, they're worth a lot of
I
money.
don't know.
I see them on Antiques Roadshow all the
Okay.
time, the Tiffany lamps and things. But yeah,
yes.
Weird Al
Tiffany.
everything goes back to Weird Al.
Everything goes back to Weird Al. That album was amazing. I sing out loud in
Yeah.
the grocery store
I'm fat.
when the
and fat's
original
great.
song comes out.
Yeah.
The other day at the grocery store, you know what I heard?
Yeah.
I got my mind set on you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got my mind set.
What is his version?
You don't remember it? This song's
It's
just
just-
6 words long.
That's
This
so
song's
funny,
just
because
6
George
words
Harrison
long.
got a
The
lot of
song's-
criticism for that song because there's literally like 3 lines
I
in it
got
that
my
are
mind
repeated.
set on
He just
you.
says there's like 3 lines over and over again, and Weird Al takes it to the next level.
It's
the
so
song is just
brilliant.
6 words long, and it's exactly right.
Brilliant.
So funny.
And commentary at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the best spoof. Anyway, another one from that album that I never knew the real one was the original was Moni Moni
Yes.
and the spoof was Alimony.
Alimony.
And I didn't even know what alimony was. I was 9 years old.
He
and I'm
explains
singing
it in the song
alimony.
pretty well. Like
Yeah.
you kind of learn about it. Yeah.
And there is a bunch of songs. They just come back to me at random moments.
Like a surgeon is great.
That one
Eat
wasn't
It.
on
I know.
that
I'm saying good
album,
classics.
yeah.
Weird Al has he's
But
fantastic.
I just like, for me, that one album is in my head forever because it was gifted to me. My friend told me her mom, they were going to she's like, I need to buy my friend a birthday present. And Mom's like, we can go to the toy store or to the Coconuts. Remember the Coconuts record store? And she's like, let's go to Coconuts. And then she just picked
Coconuts.
this
Remember they had coconuts at records?
in the mall.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, focus. Back to the scene. He's showing him this Tiffany box, and Balky's like, but you didn't buy the ring from Tiffany, the jewelry store.
Right, because Balky was there with him when they bought the ring from a dude,
Harrison Dunn, the Diamond King.
dude named Harrison Dunn, the Diamond King. And of course, Larry says, I replaced the raisin box he gave me with the Tiffany box. So he bought a diamond ring from a dude that was in a raisin box that was sold to him in a raisin box.
Yeah.
So he says he switched it out, and he's like, when I give this ring to Jennifer, it's going to be one of the greatest moments of
Here he
my
is,
life.
expecting the
I want
greatest.
everything to be perfect. So he's lying to her right away with the Tiffany box. It's
lies.
fantastic.
The whole thing is built on lies.
And there's a knock on the door. Oh boy,
And
it's time.
the girls are there, and they walk in, and Jennifer's like, Larry, you said it was important. What's going on? And they lead the girls over to the couch, and Larry and Jennifer sit in the middle, and Balky and Marianne are sort of like off to the sides. Larry starts to say, Jennifer, I have something for you, and I wanted our two best friends to be here for this. And she was like, oh. And then he starts, and he's all nervous. He's like, Jennifer, sweetheart. And then Balky's like, oh, wait a minute. And then he runs and like turns off the lights and lights these two candles.
Yeah, it gets pitch black, and then he lights these candles, and suddenly
like a big spotlight,
there's a spotlight following them, and follows and lights the scene as he puts the candles down. And he brings
the candles to the coffee table, and
harsh
he's
lighting.
like, it's romantic.
Harsh shadows
Very
right now.
Very harsh, yeah.
Yes.
And Larry's like, thank you. And then he starts again, Jennifer, sweetheart.
So you got to mention there, Larry and Jennifer are sitting on the sofa, but Balky is behind them, right between them, hanging over the sofa as he starts again.
Just like a little kid.
And Larry goes again, and Balky's like, oh, wait. He forgets something else, and he goes to the stereo and puts on some mood music really loud.
Yes.
The song String of Pearls.
String of Pearls, as the captions even told us. And it's really loud. And Larry's like, Balky. And he turns it down. And Larry's like, thank you. And so now there's like nice romantic music playing and presumably candlelight. He starts again, weird Jennifer, sweetheart. And he pulls out the box. And I'm expecting a whole like speech about like the last few years, and you make me so happy, and I want to spend my life with you.
Make it
And
official.
he just pulls out the box of the ring. He goes, this is for you.
That's a good point.
Like, where's the nice proposal, Larry? Come on.
No, he did it at the restaurant.
No, but even that, like when you get the ring, you should do like a whole thing again.
You could have prepared a little speech, I suppose. But Jennifer loves the ring. She is impressed. She says it's gorgeous. She says it's the biggest diamond ring she's ever seen. She thinks it's too much.
And he says, nothing is too much for the woman I love. And he puts the ring on her finger, and they kiss and they hug. And then we have this like excited little snippet of physical comedy where like
this is fun.
Larry and Jennifer are hugging. Balky runs to Marianne and they hug. Right. Then they turn around and Marianne and Jennifer hug, and Larry and Balky hug.
No, first the girls, then hug the other opposite males.
Oh, yeah, the opposite males. And then the girls hug each other.
The girls hug each other. And the guys hug each other. It's like 3 sets of hugging.
Then they're like all jumping and screaming and saying, yay. And then Larry tries to get back to Jennifer,
and
but they're all like in the way between them.
It's over Marianne.
and Balky. So a little bit of snippet of physical comedy.
And then Balky runs around. He turns the lights back on. Marianne picks up the box to look at it, and she says, Jennifer, you should have this ring insured. It looks expensive.
It's from Tiffany's. She says on the box.
She sees the box.
And Jennifer's like, oh, you're right. On Monday morning, I'll get the ring appraised. And Balky grabs her hand. He goes, I'll praise it for you right now. And he starts saying, it's a beautiful ring. It's gorgeous. It's sparkly ring.
He's praising the ring.
He's praising.
It's
and
so
Larry's
funny.
like, no, Balky. Not praise the ring. Appraise the ring. When you appraise something, you determine its value.
Yeah, the value's going to come out.
And Balky's like, wait, but I can determine its value. I was right there when you bought it. What? And then he starts to say 6 something. And we're like, what is he going to say?
Okay, hold on. And he runs over and covers Balky's mouth.
With his hand.
Balky about to say
600?
$600 or $65?
Something?
Maybe 600?
6,000?
No, there's no way 6,000. Even 600 would be kind of low.
Yeah.
But maybe he got it for $65 and he thought he was getting a deal. There's no way. But it started with the 6 as Larry shuts him up hilariously.
And Larry's playing wrong because he doesn't want to be found out. So he's like, Jennifer, that's a good idea to get the ring insured when it comes. You can't be too careful when it comes to diamonds. And Marianne's like, yeah, we just heard on the news tonight about some guy named Harrison Dunn getting arrested for selling phony diamonds.
Oh, and now Harry's eyes pop open. And he's
Larry didn't even realize it was phony when he was buying them.
He goes, phony like, diamonds? What?
And Jennifer just laughs. She's like, hard to believe someone would be foolish enough to buy diamonds out of the trunk of a Buick. And Larry's like, uh-oh.
They both start laughing, and Balky's laughing real hard. He's like, and he turns and he goes, oh, Popo.
He sees Larry's realized panicky
what has just happened. As they both realized. Larry goes, Harrison Dunn? His name was Harrison Dunn? Trying to make sure. And Balky's like, cousin, isn't that a small world? He goes, yes, it is. He goes, because when we went, Larry's like, he's about to tell them what he witnessed when Larry bought the diamond.
but Jennifer loves the ring,
Yeah.
and she's like so excited. And they leave. They make their exit. She's like, I have to go call my mother and every girl I ever went to high school with. Okay, this whole I don't know. I just imagine there were no women writers on this whole episode.
Writing
There's
about
so
women on this episode,
much
as we'll see.
antiquated female character stuff, that these girls are just excited by a large diamond and they need to rub it into their high school friends to make them jealous. It gets worse. It gets worse in this episode. But and Larry saying all you need to win a woman is a giant diamond ring.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And then so she's like, I'm going to call every girl I went to high school with. And Marianne's like, well, you don't have to call me. I live with you. And Jennifer goes, I wasn't going to call you. And Marianne's like, why not? I'm your best friend. A little Jennifer Marianne quibble as they exit. I liked that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
And now Larry is panicked. Of course, he says, Balky, this is terrible. Monday morning after Jennifer has the ring of praise, she's going to know the ring's a fake and her fiance is a fool. I love that.
F alliteration.
Fiance a fool. And Balky just goes, what a rotten way to start the week.
And Larry's like, oh, what am I going to do? And then Balky, this is amazing. Balky goes, cousin, you just tell her the truth. You tried to impress her. You tried to get something for nothing. You went overboard. It's classic Larry Appleton. I've seen it again and again and again.
It's so funny that it's so meta. And he's so literally describing every episode of Perfect Strangers so far. And Larry agrees. He goes, you're right. I do this all the time. And instead of changing, what does he decide? He goes, I can't let her know I've done it again.
All right, here's what we're going to do. And Balky goes, oh, God.
So Larry's just going to do the same thing. Of course, if he tells her the truth, the episode ends right here.
I love that the writers leaned into this like in this meta way.
That's so great because he's the viewer.
Call it out.
Of course.
Be like, yes, we know that this is standard behavior and people should have learned by now, but here's why they haven't.
And we're doing it again. So enjoy.
And we're aware of what you're thinking right now.
Yes, we're aware of what you're thinking. Okay, so what is Larry's plan? He's going to screw everything up again.
He says, I'll sell my car.
Oh, boy.
We'll buy a real diamond. We'll switch the rings without Jennifer knowing and everything will be fine. And Balky, here again, meta, they have him lean in. He's like, cousin, selling your car is wrong, okay? Switching the rings is wrong. And while we're on the subject, making a dog wear pants is wrong.
That is so random and hilarious, though. I love that they added that in. 3 things.
And Larry tries to pull a Bugs Bunny on him.
Yes, he does a quick switcheroo.
And he goes, Balky, before, when I tried to get something for nothing, that was wrong. And you were right, and it would be wrong if I didn't try to right that wrong, right? And Balky just thinks for a moment, and he goes,
what you're saying is the right way to right the wrong is to give Jennifer back the right ring and take back the wrong ring.
And Larry goes, right.
And Balky's just like, okay, well, in that case, I'll help you.
And then Larry's surprised. He's like, you will? And he says, yes, because if I don't, you're going to keep talking in circles until I get dizzy. So I'm going to save you the time and me the headache. Come on, let's go deal your wheels.
Let's go deal your wheels. He's in. He doesn't want to deal with this mind trickery. That is really great. I love that whole sequence.
And we go to the next scene. And in the beginning of the next scene, we have a little camera transition that we've not seen before. And it kind of sticks out a little bit, is where they have an exterior shot of the building. And then instead of cutting to the inside, they fade out and dissolve to the inside. And it looks very Star Wipey.
It's so it's a slow push into the apartment and dissolves to a slow kind of zoom in.
It looks very rudimentary.
Of them eating dinner
editing,
in the kitchen. It's a very standard transition in the iMovie.
But we haven't seen it in this show before, so it's it kind of stuck out a little bit. Anyway,
are they eating Maposian food?
Yes, they
is Balky made for them?
Because the first line, they're finishing up sort of a dinner meal at the table, and Marianne says, Balky, that was delicious. And Balky says, thank you. I don't often make moulinki loaf. It's nearly impossible to find fresh ox tonsils in Chicago.
Fresh ox tonsils. At which point Larry's mouth just opens and remains open and drops, and he's like,
and Jennifer too is kind of disgusted. But here's the thing: after 5 years, don't you think they would understand that? Yes, it's going to be gross. Don't ask what's in it. It's going to taste delicious.
Or ask beforehand. Make sure what you're eating.
But anyway,
Ox
they're both
tonsils.
disgusted. Just as Balky holds up the plate and goes, seconds.
And it's like this big meaty
like a loaf
thing.
Yeah,
looks kind of yummy. I would try it. I bet it was seasoned well, if anything.
So Jennifer and Marianne get up to clear the dishes and take the dishes to the kitchen sink to start washing and stuff. And Larry goes over to Balky in kind of like the we're far away private
the
voice.
girls are washing the dishes in the background.
And he says, Balky, remember what we're going to do. I'll get Jennifer to take off her ring, then I'll distract the girls. When I do, you switch the real ring for the fake ring and give me the okay sign.
All right, good plan.
And Balky says, okay.
Solid plan.
Yeah. And then he stands up and then he puts on this overly like scripted announcery voice way too loud and fake. And he goes, Balky, why don't you help Marianne finish clearing off the table and I'll help Jennifer wash the dishes? And then Balky takes on an even more over-the-top announcery voice. He goes, why, cousin, that's a very good idea.
You see the girls look at them going, what is going on over there?
Oh, my God.
And you see Mark Larry's face looking at him like shaking it like,
that's not cute.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
The facial expressions in this upcoming scene are incredible.
The whole episode, yeah.
Yes, the whole episode.
Epic. They should have gotten
a lot of silent facial expression
Emmys
things.
for like
comedy.
silent facial expression comedy.
Yeah.
And so Larry goes over to Jennifer where she's washing dishes.
He's got to get Jennifer to take off the ring, does he?
And he says, maybe you should take off your ring. You don't want it to slip off your soapy finger and fall down the drain. And Jennifer's like, Jennifer falls for it right away. She's like, oh, you're so right. I'm not used to wearing a diamond. And she kisses him and everything.
Good plan, Larry. It's working.
He takes it off her finger. No, she takes it off and gives it to him. And he goes to the counter, like where the phone and everything is. And he goes, I'll just put the ring over here.
Yeah, he's announcing, I'll put the ring over here.
And he's saying it in Balky's direction, who's still in the dining area.
Balky, though, is a little preoccupied flirting with Marianne as they're cleaning up.
It's like real weird flirting.
It's kind of cute. Come on.
They're like making
adorable.
googly eyes at each other as they clear the table.
He is not paying attention to what Larry is saying, which is an important part of the plan.
And in fact, he has his back to Larry. Yeah. And Larry sees this and he says again, I'll just put the ring over here.
The second time. Still not paying attention.
And then he still didn't pay attention. And he says again, I'll just put the ring on the counter over here. And finally we hear Jennifer go, all right, fine, Larry. That's fine. Put it wherever.
Just put it down there. What are you doing?
And so then
so
Larry's like, how do I get his attention? So he happens to have a basket with some bread rolls in front of him at the kitchen counter, and he picks up a roll and throws it at the back of Balky's head. It hits him in the back of the head.
It's great. Finally, he gets his attention. And then Balky turns back to look at Larry, and Larry just mouths the words, the ring is here.
Yeah, but all of this mouthing is completely silent. And
you see him say it clearly,
and it's funny because there's a lot of this about to happen, and at every line the studio audience is laughing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they could make out what they were saying because the camera was focused on their
but they
mouth.
see the monitors also in the set.
Right, okay.
But they were enunciating, they were pronouncing the words silently so good that you could read their lips. It's clear what they're saying.
Yeah, and I was saying it out loud even.
So when he says the ring is here, what does Balky do?
Oh, he wiggles his butt in frustration. He gets mad at him for having thrown the bread at him.
Saying, what's your problem?
And he shakes his butt.
It's so crazy and real. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like a kid throwing it, meh.
He's like, all right, I see.
And then he gets frustrated and he goes to the counter to do what he's supposed to do.
So now Larry has to distract the girls.
Yes. So Balky's making his way to the counter where the ring is. And at the same time, Larry grabs a plate and
that Jennifer's washing.
That Jennifer's washing from her hand. He tells her it's a family heirloom that's been in his family since the 1700s, and he holds it up facing the opposite direction from where Balky is, and walks over a few steps, holds it up to the light. He's like, see, there's a date on the back, and here, let's come to the dining room where the light is better. I'll show you. And he holds it up, pulls them away from where Balky's supposed to be switching the rings. But Balky has heard him say this, so even as he walked over to the counter, he was like, what? Family heirloom? You just see he doesn't say anything. He just gets caught up and he's paying attention to Larry now.
Well, Larry's trying to distract the girls over by the dining room table.
And he wants to see the date too, so he walks to them.
Joins them. Larry hasn't noticed, though.
And he joins them just as Jennifer's looking at the plate saying, I don't see a date. And then Balky's like, oh, maybe you have to tilt it a little. And he joins this conversation. He's like, maybe And Larry's like looking at him like, what
And then Larry
are you
sees him and
doing?
he's like, what are you doing? Tries to nod to him
Son
to get
of
away.
a, yeah. And he's like,
And then Balky's like, oh, maybe it's written in invisible ink. You just got to squeeze some lemon
and
on
then
it. And
Larry
he grabs some lemon and squeezes it on the plate.
and then Larry kind of like shoves him.
It gives him a look like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get back over there. Switch the rings.
Yeah. And then Balky's like, oh, and then he runs back
He's
to
like, oh,
remembers
sorry.
what he's supposed to be doing. And Jennifer's just like, you're crazy. I don't see anything. And Larry's like, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. And as they're like talking about the signature, we see in the background Balky switch the ring.
Balky switches the rings. He takes the fake ring and replaces it with the actual
He takes a real one from his pocket.
This
He puts
plan,
it there.
so far,
And
has
then
worked.
he puts the fake one in his pocket.
Done, Larry. Great plan.
And
You're done.
Jennifer, then we just hear Jennifer saying, all right, keep looking for that date. I'm going to finish washing the dishes. So she goes back. And then Marianne just like looks at Larry and she's like, huh? She's like, what? You're cuckoo. And keeps taking dishes to the kitchen.
Yeah, Larry still has this plate in his hand as he walks over to the counter to look at Balky across the room for the sign, right? He wants to know what happened. He looks at Balky and
everything's
Balky
okay
gives
sign.
him a sign. Now, describe this hand movement.
So
that Balky
his
does.
palms are parallel to the floor and he waves them on top and over and under each other like he's calling, like, you know
Like
how
horizontally
umpire calls
across,
safe
waving, waving in front of you.
in a baseball game,
Yes.
like safe. But he's doing this over and on top, on bottom, like waving his sideways, which is also like
Call this
for
off.
us, like nix the plan.
Admittedly,
this is not good.
but he's doing it with a smile
with a
on
big
his face.
smile. He's doing it like aggressively,
so, admittedly,
exaggeratedly.
confusing. And Larry looks back at him and does the move.
Larry's
and he's like,
what?
What? What is this?
And Balky just does the same gesture again, more wildly. And then here starts the whole conversation in silence where they're just mouthing sentences at each other. And Larry mouths, give me the ring. And Balky just looks confused. And then we cut to Larry's mouth again and he mouths again, give me the ring, like bigger and more exaggerated.
You can almost hear him saying it with silently.
And he puts his hand out and then we cut to Balky's face and we see him mouth, you want this ring?
Yeah,
and
he points to his pocket where he put the fake ring.
And then we cut back to Larry's mouth that goes, give me the ring right now. And it's so funny how you know every word they're saying without any sound. And then you can even tell what Balky says next, mouths next. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he starts to mime what he was doing before, like flirting with Marianne, and it just gets goofy.
He's like, I was at the table flirting. You hit me on the back of the head with the thing. And then Larry just stares at him and mouths perfectly. You can read this from a mile away. He just mouths, I'm going to kill you.
It's so funny. Oh my God. And the audience cracks up.
It's so clear what he says. It's so good.
And so Balky's like, I don't know what's going on, but he wants this ring. So he pulls out the ring from his pocket, which we know is the fake ring. Oh. And he tosses it across the room to Larry, who catches it. And it makes a tiny little noise when he catches it. So Jennifer and Marianne like immediately turn around. Larry's still holding that plate, that heirloom plate in his hand. And when they turn around, he panics and he goes, and he like throws the plate on the floor and it breaks into a bunch of pieces.
It smashes. It's so funny. And the girls instantly go down, start picking up the pieces.
They're like, oh no. And then Larry just like, he's like, oh no, tell me it's not broken.
He just throws
he did it
the
on
plate in front of him
purpose.
as he switches the fake ring back
while
with
they're
the real
on the
ring
ground cleaning
and
up
puts
the plate.
what an idiot. Larry, you're an idiot.
And he puts the real ring in his pocket. So now it's the fake ring on the counter again. Jennifer's all concerned. She stands up with this like a bunch of broken dishes pieces and she goes, you must be heartbroken, Larry. And then Larry's like, she had bundled them up into this towel and he takes the towel of broken pieces and just tosses it in the trash. And he's like, we'll get new family heirlooms when we're married. And she's like, what? And then he picks up the ring,
which is now the same still fake ring.
But he believes it's the real ring.
Yes.
And he gives it to Jennifer and he's like, you better put your ring back on. And she's like, but I'm still washing the dishes. And he's like, oh, forget the dishes. No wife of mine is going to be doing the dishes.
There we go.
Are you going to do the dishes, Larry? And then he like kisses her quickly and tries to get them to leave. He's like, okay, now just go upstairs and plan our wedding. Bye. And pushes them out the door.
Because we know, of course, that's what the woman loves to do.
Plan the wedding.
Loves to plan the wedding. That's all they want to do.
We're going to find out more about women shortly.
Oh, but as they're leaving, Balki tells the girls that he made them a Bowser bag of Mulinki loaf.
Is that like a doggy bag? Is Bowser a type bag.
Of dog? I don't know. Bowser is like a nickname you'd call a dog, like Bowser. I don't know if it's a breed. I don't know why they use the word Bowser bag for doggy bag.
No, Bowser is a kind of dog.
Is it? No, it's not a
Bowser dog breed.
Oh, it is a breed?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a cross between the Basset Hound and the miniature Schnauzer.
Oh.
So like doggy bag, but he just picked a kind of dog. Maybe for the alliteration.
Bowser dog.
Bowser bag. I made you a Bowser bag of Mulinki loaf, and he gives it to them to take. And then they leave, and the girls leave. Larry is very excited because he believes he has pulled off his little scheme. He says, Balki, we pulled it off. Now Jennifer's wearing a genuine diamond. We can throw this hunk of glass in the garbage. And Balki hasn't really thought through what happened. He's just
his head confused. Is spinning. Like, what just happened?
And so he pulls out the ring. He's like, we can throw this little hunk of glass in the garbage. No. And Balki tells him that he can't even tell the difference between the real diamond and the fake diamond. And Larry's like, starts to Larry explain. He's like, yes, it's very confusing. And he says, of course, to my trained eye, it's obvious this is not a real diamond. But to the average person like yourself, Balki, there's only one way to tell. And Balki's like, huh? And Larry explains that a diamond is the hardest substance in nature. It can cut glass. So they go over the window where there's a fire escape again.
The fire escape's back.
On the other side. They go over to that window. He says it can cut glass, and he takes the ring and he sort of just like screeches a circle.
A perfect circle, by the way.
On the window.
Yeah.
And they cut away from the window real quick. He's like, see, nothing. And they cut back to the window as he's saying, now, if this were a real diamond ring, there would be a hole right here. And he taps the glass right where he drew the circle. And then a perfectly circular piece of glass
falls out. It
falls out.
He did not press hard enough to even cut through
that means this diamond just cut this glass. And we fade to black. That's the end.
It's so funny because
and it's like a perfect circle.
It's a perfect circle, and he barely pressed that ring against the window.
Like I've heard that test, but I don't think it means that it's going to cut all the way through. Just that it scratches.
It will scratch it, right? But for the gag, it's a cartoon. The gag is great.
It's a total cartoony scene.
He finds out that he screwed up, you idiot.
And it's so funny because the camera cuts away from the first panel of glass that was solid, and then they cut back. And when they cut back, you can see the circle already there before he taps it, but they had to do it so quickly just to so funny.
That's the end of Act 1. Listener, join this conversation. We got a fun Facebook group where you can leave your comments on every episode. I post the thread before we record of every episode. You can watch it on Freebie. Leave your questions, comments, memories, and we'll roll it into the show. And annoyances and continuity errors, all that stuff. We love it.
Oh, yes. A lot of continuity
You're going to meet other fans of this podcast and perfect strangers there. Make friends. Say hello.
Say hi.
We'd love to have you.
Act 2, we're right kind of where we were before we started. It's just a close-up of the hole in the glass when we come back. And then we pull back and we see Balki and Larry still there. And Larry is mad. He's putting things together, and he looks at Balki. He goes, "What did you do?" And I like this. Balki says, "What do you mean what I did do?" And he's like, "I was just standing here. You're the one who cut the glass." He's like, "Not the window, the ring. What did you do with the ring?" And he's grabbed him at this point by the shirt collar, and he's like choking him. He's like, "What did you do with the ring?" And Balki goes, "I switched it like you told me to." And Larry says, "You switched it?" And Balki says, "Like you told me to." Being choked.
Yeah.
And Larry lets him go of him, and he says, "Well, then why did you go like this?" And he does
waving the arms,
waving no motion.
Balki goes, "Because this means everything's okay." It hits, I guess, on me.
And Larry is like, "What am I even listening to?" He goes, "No, this," and he holds up a thumbs up. Means everything is okay. And then Balki says, "No, cousin, this," the thumbs up, means the lead sheep has been neutered.
That's what it means on Meatballs. Balky, in the 6 years of living in this country, has never had anybody done a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
Or he did, and he just thought lots of lead sheep were being neutered all the time.
All the time.
I love where he's like, this means everything is okay when he's waving his arms. It's so confusing. It's so funny. And then Larry, realizing what happens, we get a great, oh my Lord. He realized that means Jennifer still has the fake ring. Mm-hmm. She's going to get it appraised the next morning. And he comes up.
She's going to leave him.
She's going to leave him probably because she's going to find out it's fake bought from Harrison Dunn.
So he's thinking fast on his feet. And what's his plan?
They come up with an amazingly sitcom-y 80s, 90s plan that makes so ridiculous in all the right ways that makes no sense. You couldn't do it today. His plan, he says, we are going to go upstairs to the girls' apartment tonight while they're sleeping and get that ring back. What?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. All right, Larry.
And he starts to lead Balky to the front door, and Balky's like, where are we going? And he goes, we got to get some flashlights.
So they're going to go get their flashlights, and
they're going to break into the girls' apartment.
This is something you could do in the 80s. Now,
oh my gosh,
we get the shot of our first and only shot.
This is where the discussion starts.
Of the whole series of the girls' bedroom, Jennifer and Marianne's bedroom.
What do we see?
Apparently, first of all, couple things here, right? You panning across the room. We see two separate beds.
First of all, it's all like pastel.
It's pastel
colors.
and blue. They share a bedroom. Let's put that out there.
They're both there. They're two twin beds in one bedroom.
Twin beds in one bedroom. These are adult women.
And
Marianne has
30 years old.
A night mask on.
Yeah, like an eye mask, a sleeping mask.
Okay. So put that aside. We're crossing over the two bedrooms. And then we come over to the window.
And in front of the window is like a little bench with like 30 stuffed animals and dolls.
Apparently.
I'm like, the writers of this show thought that two 30-year-old women slept in the same bedroom and the bedroom was full of dolls and stuffed animals.
Yeah, that's what they thought. I also, my mind went to I assume they're all Marianne stuffed animals because she seems like the kind of character who would still have stuffed animals, like kind of quirky, but it is an odd choice. Also, here's the next thing. Apparently, they sleep with their windows unlocked
because we cut to the window, which has a fire escape. And outside of the window is Balky and Larry with flashlights.
Oh, and here's the other thing. There's more. So we're looking at the fire escape. They live upstairs from them in the building, and they have a shared bedroom. This apartment has a completely different layout.
Presumably, it should be the exact same unit.
Exactly upstairs.
But listen,
should be the same layout.
So a couple of things this is suggesting.
How is there a double bedroom in here?
This suggests that they have a one-bedroom apartment, so they're sharing the bedroom.
Is that a one-bedroom?
But here's the thing. These two are flight attendants, okay, for presumably major airlines.
Pretty good money.
I think they make more than Larry and Balky in the basement of the Chronicle.
Yeah.
And Larry and Balky have this enormous 2-bedroom apartment where the living room just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
They literally fit a horse
in
lying down in there.
And they're trying to tell us that Jennifer and Marianne have either a 1-bedroom or something else is going on in their other bedroom that they sleep in.
Bedroom? Wow, they're really close. I mean, they're good friends. Anyways, the cousins are outside and they got flashlights on their face and they slowly turn and look at each other and scare each other and scream. Of course, the girls don't hear them.
Of course, because they're at like that 5 feet of distance, cone of silence in sitcom world. But they scream like loud outside the window.
Nobody hears it. Anyways, they have
a whole conversation out there.
They simply just raise the window. It's open, unlocked, easy to get in.
They open the window and they start climbing in. So the girls in Chicago sleep with windows open and unlocked, no bars,
nothing.
With
the fire escape right outside.
Yeah.
Sure. It's 1990. Anyways, Balky crawls in, and then Larry crawls in, and then Balky's flashlight hits him in the eye. And he goes, "Oh, my eye," and tumbles off the thing.
Balky, my eyes. And he falls loudly.
Yeah, no, that doesn't wake anyone
into the apartment.
And then he grabs the 2 flashlights and points them right at Balky's eyes just to be petty, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And now this gets a little bit creepy. I mean, again, this is the 80s, this is the 90s. But you see these 2 grown men creeping over to Jennifer's bed.
So as from the audience, as we're watching, Marianne's bed is on on the left and Jennifer's on the right, and there's like a little gap in between them.
Yeah, there's an end table between it and lamps on each side, right?
So they go over to Jennifer's bed.
But there's a lot of great physical comedy in this scene.
This whole thing starts a big physical comedy run.
And then here's a great line. Larry goes, "I've dreamed of being in Jennifer's bedroom. I just never thought I'd have to break in."
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Why would he? They share a bedroom. Like, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
What are you going to do? It's like
he
being
never
in college.
Went there to
like
even
maybe when
see it?
Marianne was out with Balky on a date. No, they do everything together.
Or like drop something off. Yeah, I don't know.
First time he's engaged to this
her,
person.
And he said he's never seen her bedroom.
This is a very clean
old
courtship life here on TGIF. Very interesting.
Very clean courtship. They kiss. That's it.
So Larry gives Balky the real ring to hold. Balky takes it, puts it on his pinky finger for safekeeping. You know this is going to be a problem right now. Of course. So they both kneel. This is so creepy. They both kneel silently.
You know what we forgot to say? Because I thought it was going to happen here again after Balky puts it on his finger, but it doesn't. But earlier when the audience watches Balky switch the rings and then Larry switches them back, the whole audience like groans. You could hear them going,
"Oh, that's right." When he takes the real ring and puts it in his pocket.
Because they know that it's a goof now.
That was a fantastic.
But I was expecting that here too. When Balky puts the ring on his own finger, I was like, "Oh no!"
It's a fantastic audience groan. Yeah, in that bit was so good.
But they didn't do it here
because you were just like, "Oh, Larry, you're an idiot." Anyways, they first. They kneel down and he just he picks up her hand, tries to take the finger off, but right then she rolls over in her sleep.
Away from him and like tucks her hand under the pillow or something.
Does not wake up.
So they go to the other side of the bed, to the side she rolled over to, and now this is the side that's close to Marianne sleeping. So Larry's like looking at Jennifer, and Balky stops and looks down at Marianne. This is kind of creepy, and
also cute.
He's so taken and enamored by how cute she is.
His hand over his heart and just looks at her,
and he leans down and kisses her like eye mask
while she's sleeping.
And
then he stands up again,
and Larry sees him, and then he bends down to start kissing her again, and Larry just like slaps him.
What's he gonna do
to stop him?
He's
and
like,
pulls him back to the Jennifer side.
So then this is when they try again, and then Jennifer moves her hand and puts it under the pillow, completely out of reach. And Larry turns to Balky going, "What do I do now?" Balky has an idea. He gets up, goes back around the bed to the other side where there's a tissue box.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs a tissue. This old gag. This always works.
This old gag. Very cartoonish.
You know what's going to happen. He takes the tissue and kind of tickles Jennifer's nose to force her to rub her face and turn over, and she does.
To pull her hand back out from under the pillow.
Her hand comes back out, rests right on top. Perfect. As Larry now attempts to pull the ring off. But while Larry's attempting to pull the ring off, Balky is twisting up that Kleenex into a sharp little point and is about to shove it up her nostril.
Jennifer's nose.
What are you doing, Balky?
I feel like he might have improvised that, but that was
that
so
would have
silly.
woke her up in the most horrible way, right there. And Larry
it was a COVID test.
Yes, it was like a COVID test.
COVID test.
I was like, "You're going to stick the napkin up her nose," and Larry grabs it. He's like, "What are you doing?"
It just in time.
He
and
gives him the look. Like, "What are you doing?" It's so funny. So now Larry's at Jennifer's hand. He's trying to pull it off, and here is another problem. The ring is not coming off. It is.
And he pulls and pulls, and she still doesn't wake up.
No, he's tugging on her finger.
And these two are like, they're moving the bed every time they move. They're
Jennifer
shaking the bed.
Heavy sleeper, man.
And the other thing I thought is like, Jennifer's a heavy sleeper, but also the actress did so well.
Yes.
I would have been cracking up. They're literally doing physical comedy like over your face.
Right in front of you. You don't know what's happening. You're hearing the laughs. You can feel the movement. She does not crack.
I wonder if there were bloopers from this, but anyway.
Maybe she's on some Ambien. We don't know. Like, she's not getting up.
Because he's literally tugging at her finger while she's sleeping. Anyway, so Balky has an idea, and he finds this jar of like cold cream, like lotion, on the side table, and he shows it to Larry. This all in silent, and now they're on either side of Jennifer's bed. And Larry's like, "Great," and he's like, "Open." He like kind of nods to him and motions to him to open it. Balky tries to unscrew the lid, but it's stuck. It's
he's struggling.
He's like looking like he's opening a pickle jar or something. and he struggles with it more, and then his whole body leans forward.
He falls forward.
And he's about to fall right onto Jennifer, and Larry sees it, and he puts his hands up and catches him. So now they're making like a little bridge
over
Jennifer's twin bed.
And he just almost fell on top of her. But
the bed shakes and everything.
Totally shakes. But then Balky finally gets the jar open and he puts it right in Larry's face and it gets right on his nose.
He dips
his nose. Which is really funny. Dips his nose. Like just said. And then Larry grabs the jar and dips Balky's chin in it.
Yeah. And so now retaliation.
Now Larry has lotion on his nose and Balky has lotion on his chin. And then he pushes him back upright, standing again.
And then
this whole thing was done floating over Jennifer while she doesn't cry.
Yeah. And then Balky offers him the jar again, and he takes Jennifer's whole entire finger and dips it into this jar of cream lotion.
She's a heavy sleeper
and pulls it out, and her entire finger is covered in lotion. And he
And now Larry's trying to get the ring off while Balky. This is really funny and random. Balky grabs a napkin, wipes the lotion from his chin, right? And throws it away. Then he grabs another napkin, and then he goes and he wipes Larry's nose off while he's trying to get the ring off. It's so funny.
And then he finally pulls the ring off and holds it up to show Balky, and Balky does that wiping gesture again. Everything's okay gesture, the Meposian one.
He's like, all right.
And he's so happy. He's got like a big smile. And I don't know why, but I laughed so hard. It's like a physical comedy callback. Yeah,
it's all silent. This is all silent.
And I laughed so hard because it was the way he did it with the big smile on his face. Like, yes, everything's okay, but he's doing this no motion. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. It's so funny.
Oh, that is great. So Balky now, he has a tissue and he's trying to wipe the cream off Jennifer's hand while Larry turns away for a second. And as Larry turns away, Jennifer rolls over and has her whole arm
and grabs Balky's face,
grabs his head and kind of pulls him
into her chest.
Now I would describe this as Balky is ensconced in Jennifer on the side of the bed.
Jennifer's
and his hand is waving.
Chest, yeah.
And he's right in the chest.
You just see his hand help me waving. And Larry takes the tissue from him and tickles Jennifer's nose again. So she rolls back over. Yeah. She lets go of Balky.
Man, that gag always works. But by the way, that's a scientific fact. If someone is sleeping and need them to move, just run a napkin
nose with a tissue.
Scientifically proven to work.
Oh my God!
Every
if somebody
time.
did that,
in the middle of the night,
I would scream so loud.
Like, what's going on?
It's because it's either a ghost or somebody's in my bedroom trying to kill me.
Yeah, you're like, what is that? Or it could be like a bug or a spider or something, but it could be an insect. I don't know. A moth.
No, I would scream so loud.
Anyways, Jennifer has not screamed nor woken up at all with all this shaking and commotion. Now, Larry mouths to Balky, give me the ring, right? You got to put the ring back on. And Balky holds up his pinky. He's like, oh, this ring?
One,
oh,
yes.
okay.
And now I saw this coming.
Yes.
The minute he put it on his finger, he tries to pull it off, but guess what? It's stuck.
No, we knew that was going to happen.
And he tries again, and it's still stuck. And Larry's not impressed. And he's like, give me your hand. And he gives him his hand. Again, they're tenting over Jennifer's bed. And Larry starts to pull hard. But the ring's not budging at all. And then he grabs his pinky and pulls really hard. And Balky goes, ow!
Out loud.
And then both girls sit straight up.
As the cousins dive each under the bed. Larry under Mary Ann's bed. Balky dives under Jennifer's bed.
They face plant, dive as soon as the girls sit up. Each one under a bed.
And then Jennifer turns the lights on and goes, Mary Ann.
Which is they're already seated up and you can see Larry's bottom half scrambling under the bed. Jennifer didn't see it.
In TV reality,
it's right next to you. It's pitch black.
The room is pitch black, even though it's not pitch black.
Even though there's a spotlight.
Reality, like on Lost, the room is pitch black.
But still, you would see legs moving right on the floor next to you.
No. The lights are off. There's no light. There's no light. It's completely dark. You might have heard some scuttling.
Yeah, I would scream. It would be a ghost or a murderer.
But they don't. Jennifer turns the lights on and goes, Mary Ann, what was that? And Mary Ann just goes, I can't see. Oh, God, I'm blind. As she's wearing the face mask. And Jennifer's like, take off the face mask. We go through this every morning. Every morning she wakes up and she thinks she's blind. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
Now, it would have made sense if they were both wearing eye masks?
Yeah, because then it would have been more believable that she didn't see Larry's legs crawling under the bed.
Black. There's no light. The pitch black. But what she does notice is that the window's open and the ring is gone.
Her ring is gone.
And she says, we've been robbed. And Marianne lets out a banshee-like scream as Jennifer hops out of bed and covers her mouth, telling her to be quiet.
Would you be quiet?
They may still be here. They need to check. So here's another great,
great detail of how the writers wrote these, your 30-year-old women in 1990 is what they're wearing to sleep in.
Yes.
They're in these like full on, Marianne has like a little short little like a pink lingerie nighty thing. But
Jennifer's in a very sexy
also in
green full length dress.
But like no woman would sleep in this.
It looks like she's going out to a party or something. It looks like a prom dress.
It's very fitted in the torso and like it doesn't look comfortable at all for sleeping, except that it's satiny and it's meant to be like.
Also, I noticed right away, hilarious, their hair was perfect.
Perfectly
when they
done,
woke up from sleep. Her
exactly the same,
perfect.
But
so good.
My only thought was about like Jennifer's sleeping like gown. I'm like, who would wear this? Like,
it's silk. It seems like nice and smooth and silky.
And also, both of them are clearly wearing like what would be considered like lingerie type things, which you only really wear when you have your partner around. You don't wear it. I mean, maybe you do just to feel nice, but like, come on, writers! Like, what is this prom dress she's wearing to bed?
Marianne's dress is quite short. Also,
yeah, she wears the short dress.
Anyways, they run over to where you normally keep umbrellas in an apartment.
They go to the bedroom, they run toward the bedroom door, presumably to go check the rest of the apartment.
Yeah,
but they need like some weapons,
something to defend themselves.
So conveniently, on the inside of their bedroom door is like a clear plastic box with two umbrellas.
Yeah, it's the umbrella holder. That's how
long umbrellas that you could use as a weapon. I don't know how.
That is where you would safely store your umbrellas, not in front of the door
with old
when you
school
come in.
like curvy handles, but like a clear box inside your bedroom is where you keep your umbrella stand.
Of course, Marianne wants the pink one. They each of them match their outfits. Also, there's a green one and a pink one.
And she's like, "I want the pink one." Jennifer's like, "What?" We're like, "Okay." So
she grabs one and pantomimes. We're going to stab someone with this. Yeah. Let's go.
So they each grab an umbrella and they exit the bedroom. And as soon as they're gone, the boys crawl out and they try to like go back out the window.
Yeah, there's a great funny bit where Larry pulls Balky up from under the bed and then falls back on the bed, bounces up, and they start crawling out the window, but Balky's distracted by one of the stuffed animals and picks it up and starts talking to it.
He's
like,
hello. Oh, hello. And Larry's like, put the doll down. First of all, the whole idea that there's even a doll in these girls'
grown-up women play with dolls.
Gosh. Grown professional women with dolls.
So he's shoving Balky through the fire escape out the window. Balky's on his back. Larry climbs on top of him with his butt hanging out as the girls re-enter the bedroom.
So they're like
catching them
all tangled in each other in the middle of this window, half in, half out. They come back and see them, and Jennifer's like, Larry, Balky, what are you doing? And here, I thought clearly the next line would have been a synchronized in unison. Hi.
That would have been great. They don't do that.
But they didn't do it.
That would have been great.
Did they forget?
They could have done that and still done the line that they do, which is...
they could have done that too.
They were like, quick thinking on Larry's part. He goes, oh, we heard Marianne screaming. We came right up.
And they like point their flashlights at them. They're like, everything okay?
But you could have still done the high.
The high was so good. How did they miss that? Classic. We even haven't had one in a long time.
No, that would have been a great callback to the earlier seasons of
the writing on this was just
like every time she's caught them in a compromising situation, they
compromising position.
They do the high. And it's often when they're on top of each other.
They haven't had it in a while, so maybe the writers changed and forgot.
These writers didn't watch the earlier episodes.
I guess not.
Anyways, the jig is up here.
Yeah,
friends.
They found out.
The truth has to come out now.
What? So let's see if he gets in any trouble. Obviously not, because we cut to the final scene.
No consequences.
Everything's resolved. We're back on the couch. Jennifer and Larry together in the inside, and Balky and Marianne on the edges. And Larry's putting a different ring on Jennifer's finger, and he says, it's taken me a few tries, but this is the engagement ring you can keep. And he says, it's smaller than the others. And Jennifer cuts him off, says, Larry, I love this ring. The other diamond was too big. It wasn't my style.
That's nice of her to say.
And she's all lovey-dovey.
She's sincere. It came off sincere.
As if like she had zero problem the fact that he was lying and scheming from the very beginning, even before they're married, about this
but
ring.
He was to get her a big fat
and he broke
ring.
into their apartment.
Yes, he did. He's kind of a stalker.
And he was being cheap and he was lying.
Yeah, he's being cheap. He goes overboard to try to fix things.
She's fine. She's all lovey-dovey. Yep. She loves the ring. And he says, I'm glad you like it. And she says, I'm glad you could buy your car back.
Oh, he got his car back. Good.
And Balky's like, Cousin Larry got a really great deal. He was able to buy it back for only $200 more than he sold it for. And here comes the best dig ever from Marianne. She goes, boy, Larry, doing things the hard way sure comes easy to you.
Nails it. She nailed it. She nailed it. That's the best line.
And then here's why Larry is immediately forgiven for all his shady ways. He says, well, I meant well. I just wanted you to have the best.
Aww.
And she melts quite unbelievably, in fact.
I don't know. You kind of buy it, I guess.
I have the best. I have you.
Aww.
And they kiss and roll credits.
Listener, before we get into our thoughts, check out our TeePublic shop. You can buy some Dance of Joy podcast swag, t-shirts, hoodies, cell phone cases, mugs, tote bags, pillows, lots of fun stuff. Check it out, danceofjoypod.com/shop. We'll get you there. Any notes about this episode?
Well, you know what? All this time I've been saying who wrote these women.
A man.
And a woman.
Oh, get out of the city.
Because in fact,
get out of the city.
Huh.
This script was written by a husband and wife team.
A married couple, even.
Sandy Helberg and Harriet B. Helberg. Which
Sandy
one's the wife?
Harriet.
Harriet.
Could go either way.
Apparently, Harriet sleeps in a twin bed with another. It shares a bedroom on a twin bed and has lots of dolls and stuffed animals in her bedroom.
I guess that was her upbringing.
And Harriet keeps umbrellas in a in a clear box
Maybe Sandy
in her bedroom.
Maybe it was Sandy.
Anyway, these two were quite active in the entertainment industry. Sandy Helberg was an actor. He was on a lot of shows: MASH, Newhart, Remington Steele, Night Court, Days of Our Lives, and others. And then Harriet, this woman who keeps umbrellas in the bedroom, was a casting director for a bunch of TV shows and movies.
Oh, and here's the best bit.
Their son, Simon Helberg.
You may know that name. He's Howard Wolowitz on The Big Bang Theory. He plays Howard. That's amazing.
So famous big Hollywood family. So there was in fact a woman writer.
Voice on What did you think of this episode overall?
Listen, for Perfect Strangers, I quite enjoyed it because we had some excellent silent physical comedy.
The whole plate scene, switching ring scene,
the mouthing words,
the sneaking in scene, even though it's creepy, also hilarious.
Yes, I did.
Well done.
I did laugh a lot in the bedroom scene, even as I was thinking, "Ew."
Like we'll get to PS today.
But I was also laughing.
This is
okay,
the stuff you could do back then, no problem. But
I had problems with the way they wrote these women the whole time.
But I love just the over the top plan of we're just going to break into their bedroom and switch the rings on a person.
Of course you are.
Only on a sitcom in the 80s would you do this. It's great.
And every time on every show, it always got switched back by accident.
Yes.
Always.
So I enjoyed this sitcom history of things trope that happened. I kind of liked this episode. It was fun.
It was fun.
Very just typical Larry Appleton and great hijinks.
And I loved that meta calling out.
We know what you do.
We know what everyone's thinking,
again.
and we're going to lean into this.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
You can do it again.
It's all the more reason for me to do it again because she's going to know I did it again, so I have to do it more.
So I have to do it more. So she's
going to know I did it again, so I have to do it more. That's the premise of this.
It's kind of bbrilliant
episode.
It's DNA Perfect Strangers, right? It's the OG DNA.
Yeah, I was okay. I found it entertaining. It was. It was
comedy,
problematic in many ways, but also entertaining. So I don't know. What is that? A B?
Yeah.
What did our listeners think?
Well, let's see. Cousin Pam Hitchcock comments, the engagement ring mishap trial. In spite of this, I enjoyed the episode because the Balky-Larry chemistry was back and firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
Yes, it was. She says, Balky doesn't know what American thumbs up means after 6 years of living here.
Valid
Good question. She says, I didn't like the Larry splaining. I also don't like the way that Larry just hands Jennifer the ring box without a proper proposal.
I also mentioned that.
Also, 2 single girls in Chicago don't lock their windows.
Yep.
It's a very good question. I would have major beef with the over-the-top action in the bedroom, but I know people that sleep that soundly.
Okay,
that's why.
Really?
Some people are happy sleepers.
I don't believe. I thought it was just purely sitcom fiction.
Yes. Bronson Pinchot and Mark Linn-Baker really made this episode work on such a flimsy premise. It was nice to see everyone in character and gasp, I found Jennifer likable. I am giving this episode 8.5 out of 10. Bibi Babkas on the positive
on the positive scale.
Very good. She really likes us. Good comments.
All right. Cousin Nicole Stoner writes a fantastic Mark Linn-Baker facial expression episode.
Yep.
The entire dish cleaning scene proves it.
Yep.
And Larry mouthing, I'm going to kill you very pronouncedly to Balky still makes me laugh hard whenever I watch this episode. Great. Only Mark could pull that off. And in an episode where there isn't a ton of over-the-top physical comedy, the facial expressions more than make up for it. I think that counts as physical comedy.
It is. They're doing heavy lifting with just their face. And that is it was
excellent.
That is a skill. That is hard to do.
And Pam Hitchcock chimed in. There's a little discussion saying Mark Linn-Baker is the undisputed MVP of facial expressions. This is true. And we had listener cousin John Adama saying, man, the dark hallway is distracting. And I found this comment so funny because I thought this too. In the very beginning, when Balky and Larry are on the couch talking about this ring, the hallway to their bedroom is like ominously dark behind them.
I didn't even notice that.
The lighting was weird in this whole episode. Well, they're well lit, but the hallway going to their bedrooms.
You know why they did? They had the lights off in the back there because they're doing the candlelight.
Yeah, but it was just so dark. It was like pitch dark.
So they just needed to be like, Balky turns off these front lights. Those lights in the back are already off.
Yeah.
Because usually they'd be on.
But it was like such a contrast. I noticed
there's a black square on the side of the frame. Now I notice it. I didn't notice it before.
Yeah. And cousin John writes, what do you suppose is the red stuff they're eating with the ox tonsils? Cranberry sauce?
Something sweet to go with.
To which cousin Pam Hitchcock writes, of course, it's pureed tongue blood with saffron.
Oh, you gotta have the saffron.
You can't waste any part of the animal. And saffron, saffron just makes everything better.
Yeah, it's Maposian nose to tail cuisine. They used everything. Yeah, saffron, it's expensive, but it's tasty.
And finally, cousin John writes, man, does that final scene feel forced?
Well, they had to wrap it up somehow.
It was time to end the show. He writes, this is the exact opposite of last week's episode and was probably done to help balance their budget. As others have noted, this is not breaking any new ground, but there's a lot of funny here. Since this hits most of my triggers, physical comedy, the boys helping each other, it's a B+ for me.
Solid. It's a solid episode.
Yeah.
Cousin Whitney says, well, Larry has finally put a ring on it. If you'd like, you can put a ring on it. She says, can't say I'm really happy. I mean, good for Larry, but that now means it's official, meaning more and more screen time of the girls. Sorry, I'm just not a Jennifer and Marianne fan.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, well.
She continues that it's typical cheap Larry Appleton, always trying to get something for nothing or trying to get away with something and think and hope he's not going to get caught, even in the process of him becoming a husband.
Yep.
And marrying the so-called woman of his dreams.
Starting it off on lies and deception.
She loved the switching of the ring scene. Great scene. And then she does mention you can hear the audience react when Larry switches the real ring back with the fake ring.
Yeah, everyone's like, ooh.
She thought Balky not knowing the thumbs up thing was also funny, even though he's been there for 5 to 6 years. Still doesn't know what it means. Or have seen Larry do it himself. Yeah. Maybe he forgot.
Yeah.
The lead sheep has been neutered again, cousin. Great news.
That's what he thought for 6 years.
Don't be ridiculous, not said.
Of course I have. Don't be ridiculous.
But I believe you can see Dimitri's photo.
Dimitri's still on vacation somewhere. His photo is there. He's gone off to college, maybe.
It's a shrine. I don't know why.
On the bookcase, yeah. All right, let's talk about Perfect Strangers today. P.S. Today, the segment of our podcast in which we discuss could we remake this episode today? What would hold up? What things would need to change? Is it even possible?
Well, come on. You cannot have them breaking into
You cannot have
women's
two 30-year-old women.
bedrooms
I mean,
through the window.
technically, sure, anybody can share a bedroom, but I refuse to believe that two flight attendants would be sharing a 1-bedroom apartment.
But can you imagine trying to do that plot now, doing the breaking in?
You can't break into the...
You can't do that. It's not going to work. You could still do the whole thing where he gets a fake ring and gets bamboozled. It could be online or whatever, right? He bought something online and then he's got to replace it. But
what was even the utility of having them, both of the girls in that scene? They could have easily just made it
Jennifer's
her own bedroom.
No, so then when he says ow, that they wake up or something and leave to get him out.
To get
so
both
they can
of
escape.
them, but they're not going to... But they could still do that with just Jennifer in the room.
Yeah, it would be weird to see both of them in a bedroom. It'd be weird to see him stalk, creep, break in on them.
Yeah.
But you could still have some hijinks with the switching of
the rings.
So it's
I don't know. It's like a pretty low score.
It is it's a solid classic like trope that worked for a long time.
Yeah, but half of this episode was the physical comedy in the bedroom.
Yeah, you would do that now, and you'd be like, "This."
You can't have two men breaking into these.
This doesn't seem right. Two adults. Yeah.
A lot of it was.
How else would he switch the ring? Like the second time,
you could still buy fake diamond rings.
But even the whole diamond ring thing, like, would blood diamonds be brought up? What is the legacy?
Or like
Where
this
did this
whole
ring come
idea
from?
that like women swoon over these. That's the only way to keep your woman.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I don't think. Yeah, all of that. It's kind of
that wouldn't hold up. That dialogue, that premise,
kind of played out.
Hold up.
Kind of antiquated in a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. So pretty. I think like a lowish PS Today score. For content.
Yeah, you know what?
Subject matter, not like technical.
So for my wife, did I ever tell you this story?
No, maybe.
I got her mom to give me this diamond that had been in her family, her great grandmother's diamond. And then she also gave me like their engagement rings, the metal. So I melted it down and made a new ring. That was the ring.
You did? You had someone.
I had someone do it. So with the help of my wife's mom, I didn't get like just a.
You took it to like a ring maker?
Yeah, we took it to a jewelry maker. But it was a ring that she already had. It wasn't a new. I mean, maybe that ring that diamond has bad history. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a new added into circulation
newly
diamond.
mined diamond. Yeah.
It was this thing she had for like a couple of.
That's cool.
Generations.
That's really nice.
So that made more sense to me. Than I'm like, I can't be buying these diamonds.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah.
Even if they say they're not blood diamond, like how do you know?
You don't.
How do you know? You don't know. This one could be too, though, but it's not a new one.
It's not a new one, yeah. That's
Anyways,
nice,
that's something you could do.
So I would say, based on content and premise and like general understanding of women's lives,
even though it's a solid trope, it's a low PS today. A lot of things have changed.
Yeah. Let's just skip it.
Just do the next one. Speaking of the next one, join us next week when Larry finds out something troubling about Marianne.
Uh-oh.
She's a serial killer? She have a past? She murdered people?
We'll find out.
Oh, my God. Is she a cannibal? Oh, man. Is she a
Republican?
Is she, oh, boy. Is she on an island stranded for many years?
Is she time traveling?
Is she a time traveler? Is this actually Quantum Leap and not Perfect Stranger?
She a smoke monster?
She might be a polar bear. She really a polar bear. Anyways, in the meantime, you can support this show by buying us a virtual coffee. There's a button on our website, danceofjoypod.com. It helps support the show, pays for overhead costs, keeps the show going. We appreciate everybody's
It helps
help.
us keep us rich like those Hollywood CEOs.
Yeah, it helps us use AI to steal their image and pay them a day rate and then just use it in perpetuity.
We're going to strike.
Listen, we should. No, this is all, by the way, this is all AI generated. I probably should have disclosed that. It's not really us.
It's not us.
We've already been taken over.
We've trained the machines on our voices.
This is what the machine would have you believe.
Because the machine has heard me say so many times it can do it on its own.
Yep.
Please also visit us at danceofjoypod.com. That's our website where you can find the links to everywhere you can find and listen and rate and review and subscribe to this podcast. You can also press a button right there on the website and leave us a voice message. Tell us if you keep your umbrellas in a clear box inside your bedroom door. Tell us how many dolls and stuffed animals you have in your room. You may very well, no judgment, but I didn't find it very believable. Anyway, leave us a voice message right there on the website, or you can send us an email at danceofjoypod@gmail.com. Any burning questions about us or about Perfect Strangers, send them on. We'll be happy to answer them. Or you can connect with us on any of our social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But Imran, what is the most important thing our listeners should do?
I mean, always lock your window when you're going to sleep in an apartment in Chicago. It's pretty simple. Like, it's common sense. What do you do?
If you have a fire escape
Especially, even if you don't know. There's blood crazies outside. No, just keep your window locked, people, so that weird cousins can't break in and stare at you while you're sleeping. No, the most important thing is to share the show.
Share the show with a friend.
Spread the dance of joy far and wide.
With your jeweler.
With your teddy bear, with the person at the Build-A-Bear.
What was the guy's name? Dunn?
Harrison
Dunn.
With the guy you buy the diamond ring off a Buick, off a trunk.
Yeah.
Tell them about the show.
Tell them about the show. Tell them about Perfect Strangers. And when people in a few weeks are sad that there's no new TV happening because everyone's on strike, tell them about Perfect Strangers and this podcast.
And then listen to this podcast. It'll keep them busy while they sort out Hollywood's implosion in front of our very eyes.
Now we are so happy.
We do the dance of joy. Hey, hey, hey.